Hey everyone, and welcome to TopThink. Today we're going to learn about 12 tips to learn something more easily. Now, let's begin. On a perfect world, we could learn new things in moments. Just read the text and the information stays. But the human brain is not so simple. Fortunately, there are some tried and true techniques that can make learning something faster, easier, and more enduring. Without reinforcement, people can forget a lot of the information that they take in, and it doesn't usually take too long either. Now, that might sound discouraging, but the good news is that how you learn can dramatically change what you remember. And with the right strategies, you can make information stick faster and for longer. So, without further ado, here are 12 tips to learn something more easily. Number 1. Eliminate distractions. If you're having trouble retaining information, don't beat yourself up. The biggest enemy of focus and comprehension often comes from the outside rather than from within. Your environment can wreak havoc on your ability to focus. Getting things under control allows you to build a space for yourself that's primed for optimal performance. Just clear off your workspace as best you can, utilizing drawers, dividers, cups, and bins to organize loose items and keep them at the ready. File papers away so you can find them when you need them. Manage your electronic interruptions by removing unnecessary and tempting devices from your workspace and then setting your phone to Do Not Disturb so only the most urgent of notifications can break through. If your space is noisy, consider investing in some noise-canceling headphones. Playing gentle instrumental music while you work can also help eliminate some of the background chatter in your own brain. Set boundaries with friends so that they understand when you're not available, and finish up other quick or minor tasks before studying so they're not weighing on you. Number 2. Wake up your body. The process of learning isn't just about what's going on inside your head. Your body and your mind are intrinsically connected. Invest some time prior to studying to boost your physiological state. By getting your body awake, fueled, active, and energized, you'll send a signal to your brain, hey, it's time to get serious, focused, and even creative. Make sure that you're well rested, aiming for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, and when possible, get early exposure to morning sunlight for at least 30 minutes. It'll help wake up your brain and balance your circadian rhythms, promoting better rest later on. Nourish yourself with brain-boosting foods like fatty fish, leafy greens, berries, nuts, eggs, and dark chocolate. Keep yourself hydrated and indulge in a little bit of coffee in moderation when you really need a pick-me-up. Regular cardio exercise will also keep blood pumping to your brain. Even standing up occasionally while studying will help keep your body active. Number 3. Create a routine. Like any other practice, learning works best when it becomes consistent and repeatable. Create a routine for yourself so that you can easily get in the groove of learning and to train your brain and your body to recognize the signals that it's time to focus. An important part of routine is simple scheduling. Write or type your study schedule on a calendar, even noting which items you plan to address in each session. Make sure that it's ambitious yet achievable so that you don't get overwhelmed. And then stick to it. Treat your study schedule just as seriously as you would any other appointment. Using consistent environmental cues can train your brain to switch into focus mode more quickly. Try studying in the same spot each day, using the same supplies, or even playing the same type of music so your mind begins to associate those signals with learning. And over time, these small patterns reduce the effort it takes to get started and helps you settle into a productive rhythm faster. Number 4. Practice visualization. Many of us consider ourselves to be visual learners. These people retain information best by viewing images, symbols, or charts, or associating concepts with certain colors. Now, if that sounds like you, there's an easy technique to turn almost any type of information into a visual learning opportunity, even if all you're doing is listening to information or reading blocks of text on a page. One very powerful way to do this is through mind mapping. You start out with a central idea in the middle of a page and then branch out into related concepts, keywords, and supporting details using lines, colors, and symbols. This helps you see relationships between ideas at a glance and turns abstract information into something more concrete and memorable. Number 5. Approach it in chunks. Fear or overwhelm can sometimes impede our ability to learn. When there's just so much information to take in, our emotions can get in the way of our focus. Don't let the big swath of info and to-dos scare you. No, instead, approach the information in chunks, encouraging yourself to tackle just one small bit at a time. Master one little section and then move on to the next. Here are 3 effective types of chunking. Structural or content chunking, breaking text into bulleted lists, headings, and short paragraphs for easy scanning. Memory or cognitive chunking, grouping information like acronyms or clusters of numbers and letters to aid short-term memory. And task chunking, dividing big projects into smaller tasks like writing just the intro and conclusion of a paper rather than trying to tackle the whole thing. Number 6. Use active recall. Active recall is a study technique where you actively try to retrieve information from memory rather than simply reviewing it. This is one of the most popular study techniques around, and with good reason. It works because it forces your brain to pull information forward, strengthening the neural pathways associated with that knowledge. This retrieval process makes the memory easier to access later, whereas passive review, such as rereading notes, can create a false sense of familiarity without truly reinforcing learning. You can practice active recall by closing your notes and writing or saying everything you remember about a topic. Flashcards, self-quizzing, or practice tests are also effective tools, especially when you check your answers and correct mistakes right away. Even pausing after a study session to summarize key points from memory can make a big difference. Number 7. Take notes by hand. Another way to nurture and to take advantage of that brain-body connection is by taking notes by hand. By simply writing your notes, you may remember them more easily. Now, this can apply not only to a classroom setting, but also when you're reading. Don't be afraid to keep a notebook on hand to jot down concepts as you read. Focus on capturing key ideas rather than writing everything word for word. Listen for main concepts, repeated themes, and anything emphasized, and then summarize those in your own words. What this does is forces you to process the information in real time and helps you build notes that are actually useful when you review them later. Number 8. Keep it all organized. Taking notes is great. Keeping, maintaining, and reviewing them is a whole beast unto itself. Set yourself up for success by keeping all of your learning materials highly organized. This allows for easy access so you can quickly find exactly what you need when you need it. Create a simple system that you can stick to, whether that's color-coding subjects, using separate folders or notebooks, or organizing digital files into clearly labeled sections. Keep your format consistent so you always know where to find things, and review your materials regularly to keep them fresh. The goal is to reduce friction so your energy goes into learning and not searching. Number 9. Mix it up. This one might sound counterintuitive, especially after all our talk about consistency, routine, and organization. But don't be afraid to mix things up. If you become too set in your ways, learning might become boring and your mind may start to wander. Change things up in your environment to keep yourself on your toes. Stand up, take a walk, change the music. And if you've spent too long on one topic, then put it away and spend some time focusing on another. Using different parts of your brain keeps it agile, active, and malleable. In other words, primed for learning. This strategy, known as interleaving, involves alternating between different topics or types of problems rather than focusing on just one for a long stretch. By switching things up, your brain has to continually adjust and apply knowledge in new ways, which strengthens understanding. It may feel harder in the moment, but it leads to better long-term retention. Number 10. Try spaced repetition. One of the most tried and true methods of learning is known as spaced repetition. In this technique, you progressively increase the length of time between study sessions, challenging yourself to remember the information over progressively longer periods of time until it becomes permanently stored in your long-term memory. The lengths of time are up to you and can be adjusted based on your habits, your goals, your schedule, and your learning style. Again, here, the key is consistency and planning. A simple way to apply this is the 2-3-5-7 method. Review the material after 2 days, then again after 3 more days, and then 5, and then 7, gradually increasing the gap each time. Each review strengthens your memory just as it starts to fade, helping move the information into long-term storage. Number 11. Find a mentor. Learning doesn't have to be a solo activity. In fact, engaging with others can help you better grasp complex topics. An expert can help you speed up your understanding of a subject, so consider seeking out a more experienced mentor to partner with you on your learning journey. Learning from a mentor can give you clarity, direction, and real-world insight that's hard to get on your own. You can find mentors through professional networks, online communities, or even by reaching out to someone you admire and asking thoughtful questions. Study groups can offer similar benefits, providing accountability and the opportunity to learn from diverse perspectives. Number 12. Be a mentor. Mentorship doesn't have to be a one-way street. Just as you can learn from others guiding you, you can also greatly benefit from teaching others. Sure, it's giving back, but you'll be giving yourself a gift as well. In this process, you break down the information you're learning into smaller, simpler concepts, almost as if you were explaining to someone younger than you. In doing so, you're essentially challenging yourself to reframe, rephrase, and reorganize the information that you've learned. This repetition helps solidify the information in your mind and can also highlight any gaps in your retention. When you can teach something simply and clearly, that's when you truly know that you've learned it. Hey, thank you for watching TopThink, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.